Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first lecture of this My Learning mini course 2501. Today, we will learn about qualitative methods and their role in the investigation of disaster risk reduction and disaster research in general. In this first lecture, I'm going to be talking about qualitative research methodologies and their use in the study of disasters in health emergency and disaster risk management, also called health EDRM. So disaster research has typically focused on quantitative methods, particularly modeling and survey design. Qualitative methods also do have a long history of use within disaster research as they're able to provide different types of evidence. Despite this, qualitative approaches are increasingly marginalized in the discussions of evidence-informed practice or disaster risk reduction policy development in comparison to greater attention given to indicators, tools, measurements, computer simulations, and technological solutions in discussions of evidence-informed practices and policy development. However, literature has shown that the unpredictability of disaster contexts, in combination with the need to capture time-sensitive information, often means that qualitative research can be more practical than quantitative study designs. So what is qualitative research? Let's talk about this first before talking about specific methods, which I will go over in the following lectures. So qualitative research methods are primarily concerned with the exploration of lived experience and participant-defined meanings. What this means is qualitative research seeks to view the world from a naturalistic and interpretive perspective, situating the researcher in the worlds they are exploring. Qualitative research includes primary and secondary data collection and analysis. Primary data is collected face-to-face by the researcher through asking people about their interpretations, understandings, and lived experiences of a particular topic or event. And then secondary qualitative data collection involves an exploration of pre-existing sources of information, such as websites, publications, or media reports. And actually, in the next couple of lectures, I'm going to present the photo voice and structured interview matrix methods as primary data collection and the critical discourse analysis method as secondary qualitative data collection. So you'll see that in the next couple of lectures. And so what exactly is collected in qualitative research? Depending on the type of research question, the data collected through qualitative research designs may include participant narratives and field notes from observations, as well as photos, videos, official documents, etc. Collecting this type of data, qualitative research is said to turn the world into a series of representations, conversations, photographs, recordings, and memos to the self. The end goal of qualitative research is to inform and guide evidence-based practice in our context in public health and disaster risk reduction, but in a variety of fields in general. So let's talk about the types of research questions that are involved in qualitative studies. So keep in mind that qualitative research projects contribute to the knowledge base by exploring people's meanings, perspectives, and experiences. Here we study how things work, how systems work, understanding context and unexpected consequences. Here we also try to discover important patterns and themes across cases. And so given this, if you think about it, qualitative research focuses on the qualities of the topic being explored, rather than degrees or metrics that we see more often in quantitative studies. In focusing on qualities, qualitative research studies ask questions using what and how rather than how much, yes or no, etc. And I'll give an example used in a 2022 study conducted by Legacy et al. And this was a case study on ageism during the COVID-19 pandemic. These researchers had conducted a qualitative content analysis of Canadian public documents related to COVID-19 and older adults, and their goal was to understand how older adults and the aging process were framed during this health crisis. This was important because public discourse can have a significant influence on people's personal experiences of aging and relationships with older adults. Anyways, to guide their data collection, the research questions in this research study were: how did ageism emerge as an issue during the COVID-19 pandemic in the media, research among older adults, Association of Older Adults, and the federal, provincial, and territorial governments' communications? Their second research question was: how did the media, researchers, older adults, associations of older adults, and governments contribute to or address ageist attitudes, behaviors, and discourse? You'll notice here that they're using how questions to study the phenomenon of aging in a particular disaster context, which here was COVID-19. One reason qualitative research lends itself to disaster research is because it can be particularly effective when studying and working with marginalized populations. So, this is definitely one of its strengths. For example, many research teams have conducted qualitative projects with older adults, like we saw in the last slide, youth, people with disability, people with a chronic condition, Indigenous groups, and other groups. Disasters are disruptors of everyday life, so they lend themselves to qualitative analysis with marginalized groups because they bring into view the taken for granted, or what's called sense making, or phenomenological processes through which the social life of a marginalized group is experienced, ordered, or sustained. Also, qualitative research allows us to co-create knowledge with the group or community. And in this way, we're fostering cultural sensitivity and inclusion, which is sometimes missing in quantitative research. Specifically, advocacy and participatory qualitative research emphasizes how different marginalized populations have their own knowledge systems, and we accept this and we honor this during our investigations. When such participatory research is community-based, this can be empowering and transformative to the community or peoples whom the disaster research is conducted with. So these are the end of my slides for lecture 1. I will see you next week. Make sure to do your readings.